my screen. Awesome. All righty. All right, thanks everyone for coming today. We're going to talk about referrals, how to send them, how to receive them, how to track them, and yeah, it's a very effective way of looking for agents in other market centers around the country when you have clients that are moving or you have clients like maybe family. I personally sent one not too long ago for my mom for someone to help her sell her house in South Carolina. Um, so it's you get access to the entire KW network, which is I don't know 180,000 agents worldwide. So let me just show you how to use it and how it can help you even maybe change up your marketing a little bit. Try to get some business maybe not necessarily here too, so you can help people that don't even live in your immediate area. So when you log into Command, you'll be on the homepage here. And then the fifth icon down is the referrals applet. So we'll go start there first. And the first thing you're going to want to do is probably go to the map. All right, so you've decided, and it really depends on, what do you call it? If you already know someone, then you can just look them up by name. But if you don't know anyone, let's just start with the premise that you don't know someone in this area. You'd already, you don't know who an agent to pick. So let's just assume, I don't know, let's just pick like Tampa. And I like to, you can do it, and then so you can pick a city first, and then you can sort it by a couple different things. By production. Production's kind of weird because it just puts all these bubbles everywhere, and for me, that's just kind of overwhelming. But you could maybe start it by like market center, and then that way you get a better idea of you know where the house probably is located or where your buyers want to buy. So then you can probably pick a market center that's maybe more centrally located to that area. So in this case, you could just pick this market center, and this is all the agents that belong to this market center, right? So then we could kind of we know that the market center is here, so we can kind of zoom in and then bring it back to production. All right, so it looks like this person, let's see here. Thomas Murphy. I'm gonna click on more info, and it should take us to his, okay, I pulled him up over here on this side. So then we click on him, we can get a little bit of background information, get his contact information, and do a little vetting process before we actually send him the referral. So we have his number, his email, and so forth. He doesn't have a bio in here, so me personally, if someone hadn't bothered to put a bio in yet, probably wouldn't be the first person I contacted. So I'd probably move on. I don't know, and you just pick somebody else here in this little market center. All right, so this person's been 17 years. They have her whole bio, the areas that she services, and has her contact information, her Facebook page. Probably a little more professional. And you actually get to choose what information you display up here. And I don't know what time frame this is, like listing sold. This might be their entire lifetime at KW. I'd have to double check that. But it gives you an idea of what kind of production they're doing. But this would probably be more someone I would reach out to, right? They said they have 17 years experience, and so on. So you could read through it, call their number, reach out on Facebook or LinkedIn, and probably not Twitter. But so let's say we liked this. What's her name? Dee Dee. I don't know who Dee Dee is. So we could go ahead and send a referral with this button here, Or we can just go ahead and link up with her first and send her an invitation. It's like, hey, I lived in the Tampa area for years and would love to have go-to agent to my friends and family too. There we go. So you don't necessarily have to have been from this area. You could just go around to the like major markets that you have friends in and just start friending and sending connection requests to agents, getting their contact information, and start marketing to them too. Because and by doing that, you could just give them updates on what's going on in your area. So if for whatever reason that person ends up having someone that moves to the DC metro area, which is a pretty good chance, right? We live in a pretty um, diverse area where people are constantly moving and leaving and moving and leaving pretty frequently. Um, Especially like Peter, you have a big military, background. You could start sending referrals out to referral requests, not referral requests, but like, these connections, right? To be in the referral network with that person and then start marketing to them because all their contact information, is on their command, add them to your database and have like a agent, uh, section in your contacts card. So, you could target areas where there's military bases. Um, and have a better chance of someone sending you referrals, right? So that's one way you could use this. Um, the map function works fairly well. I haven't seen really too many issues with it. The best way to start though, like I said, is I like starting with Market Center, and then searching for that city, and then you can kind of zero in. I've found that's the most effective way. Um, and then you could search by people you're already linked with. I'm not linked with too many people except for Chaz. Um, Actually, I went to high school with him, and he ended up being a KW agent. Then I found that out about a year ago, so that was pretty interesting. So I'd probably send referrals to him, but I guess if he was busy, I'd send it to Didi. You can also, um, so let's say we went ahead and linked up with somebody, and they accepted our referral, right? So we click on My Referrals up here. This shows all your referrals that you have, like received and sent. This is a fake one that me and Dave did. But the cool thing is hopefully you find someone that uses using command also. You get to see exactly where they are in the phase. So right now it would show active, but if it went under contract, it would update almost immediately. And I tested this with Dave; it updated within seconds. Um, so you'll see that they went under contract. You'll see that as it moves from under contract to close, you'll see that. And then you can also send messages back and forth. Write a message here. Um, and the notes and updates, you can see what's going on. Like it was moved to active, it was created. This is just a test message that Dave sent. I just sent a message to this agent who's handling um, my mom's sale. When I sent her the referral, she sent me something saying she was calling them now. My mom wasn't quite ready at the time, but she sent me a text a couple of days ago that she was. So just me sending her a message back. She hasn't quite I don't think she's created an opportunity yet. So hopefully she does that. Hopefully I'll make sure she does that. But this is a way for you to stay on top of the referral, make sure it's going well, adding notes back and forth while you're in command. Obviously you can always call or text, but this leaves, a trail, uh, instead of like emails or whatever. So, and then let's say it goes to, it closed and they close the referral and you have all your paperwork already done or whatever. It'll show all of the funded ones that have been paid out, right? These are the same referrals, but it just shows that they'll pop up, with a paid status and so forth. And let's see, with this track referral, I guess if you had a bunch of referrals, you could like track them down. I know Cindy's team, you guys do a lot of referral work, so that would probably be a useful function. instead of like maybe scrolling down, because I think they need to make these a little smaller and then expand personally, because they take up a lot of room. Um, but that'd be a way for it to track, multiple referrals. If you have like 10 to 20, it'd be kind of cumbersome to keep scrolling down every time. Let's see what else from the dash. The dashboard will show you all of your pending invites, everything that you have coming in, received and sent, and it shows everyone that's in your network. So you could just search for the people that you know first, and if you don't have anybody in that area, then you can just go to the map, right? Let's see.
Hey, Mike, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I just didn't know if there's any data to show, like, I know, where we live is a super transient area. Is there, maybe I've asked this for, I feel like maybe I've asked this before. I can't remember the answer though. Is there any data that shows like where most people come from that come to Northern Virginia to maybe investigate the connections and people in those areas? Does that make sense? Or where
Yeah,
they leave,
they have
where
this
they
thing called
leave and
referral patterns. That's nice. Sent, received. Hmm. Maybe if I circle in. Let me 1 second. Let me try closing and opening it back up again. Yeah, the answer is yeah. Yes, using referral patterns. And you can see where referrals are sent or received from our area. Just seem to be having an error there. Yeah, that way you can get a better idea of which markets you could target based on the majority. Like you see like more of a pattern of one coming in over another, Production. Well, ideally that would pop up with information. But as you can see, we're getting an error, which isn't ideal for training, but it does happen. But essentially what you would want to do is when this is functioning correctly is you just, instead of production, market centers, or network, you click on referral patterns, and then you can do where, where they're being sent, or conversely where they're being received. And then you can like, well, maybe if I just put in let's just put in, let's just put in Sterling and maybe it'll pop up with something. Okay, here we go. So majority referrals are being sent to, looks like a bunch are going to Colorado, Melbourne, Orlando, and then I guess you had to put in a city. So we get a lot, it looks like Florida in particular. Got some New Jersey. So this would be a way for you to kind of see where the majority of referrals are coming from.
is this showing people who have used the system to connect and execute a referral agreement?
I think this is just at the actual sending of a referral. I don't know if it's getting down to the actual like closed deal. I think this is just when a referral is sent to somebody, whether they close it or not. And that's just our office, actually. Let's see here. This is probably the Ashburn office, if I can click on it. Top received. Yeah, so it looks like it's going by market center, and then by market center, it's going by, what city are sending those referrals to those market centers. So you can check all the market centers around, um, Northern Virginia, and see where the majority are coming from. Looks like we get a bunch from Frederick, which is not a surprise. Not a lot of Maryland agents have Virginia license. Not a lot of Virginia agents have Maryland licenses. So that kind of makes sense. And then we can check like our Fairfax offices. There we go. I mean, again, sometimes DC agents just like to stay there. Maryland agents, some Texas, Austin. And so, if you want to do some marketing around Maryland, Washington, DC, people, to market to those DC, Maryland agents, about our area. Maybe you'll pop up more in their mind share to choose you when they're sending clients. But this would be a way to do that. You can see check sent and received. Put in the, I guess you had to put in a city. I'm not sure why you'd have to. We should be able to just, zoom in, but that's how you would check that, Dan. Lots from Melbourne. Who knows somebody in Melbourne? I think my dad has property down there, but that's a good question though.
Yeah, thank you. It's interesting. I wonder if there is a way, not through Keller Williams command necessarily, but if you wanted to find out where most people are coming from that move to this area, where would you go to see that?
Like immigration patterns? That
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, because like to me, that would be like what you just showed is really helpful for agents that have actually gone in command to execute a referral,
Hmm.
but it would be interesting to know, well, there's a large influx of people that move to Sterling, Ashburn, and then certain zip codes from where? Because to me, that would be helpful to know to then go do this process, knowing that there's a large influx of people that are coming from a certain area or that are moving to a one city or another more so than others, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
Dan, I don't know if this is helpful or not, but the Census Bureau might have that data. They do annual American Family surveys in between the decennials, and they've got a ton of data. So that might be a place to look.
There you go.
And then also, Mike, since you brought up Melbourne, in addition to military transfers, there are a lot of federal government transfers every year. Melbourne is near Cape Canaveral or Cape Kennedy, so NASA employees, TSA employees, FBI folks tend to move around quite a bit.
That makes sense.
So just just another avenue to look at.
Yeah.
Mike, I don't know if it's off topic or if this is a separate conversation that I should have with Peter, but since we're talking about referrals and moving, I thought maybe it might fit in. But I have a client that I signed yesterday that's moving here from New York. They work for the government, kind of like what Peter's saying, and they're doing. I think they work with the police. They're using like a VA loan. Um, I'm just wondering what the process is for people, if anyone has experience, a lot of experience or any experience working and helping military people move here or move out of this area, and how to kind of link in with the branches to kind of be an agent on their radar, or if they're linked in with certain relocation programs with certain people. I didn't know if anyone had any feedback about that or ideas for how to connect with that world, because that's such a huge world in this area.
I think there are services out there that will claim to connect you into that world. From what I understand, there are some pretty hefty fees for that though. So you're taking a pretty big hit on the commissions for being part of those, and I think you're paying an annual something or other to also get those leads. Um, that's as much as I know though, but it's something along those lines. As in, you're paying a pretty hefty referral for taking on those buyers. I did a deal. It was actually my second listing in May, and my buyers were veterans, and she was part of one of those networks, and she does a lot of work with veterans. And I think she said that she was already giving up like 30 to 40% of her commission to work with those buyers. So something to consider.
There's a designation for people who want to work with military. I took the class through DAR. They may have other classes at NVAR and other places like that. And they didn't mention anything about taking a hit on your commission. I've worked with renters who
No,
were,
I'm not saying. I'm saying, but there are services out there that you can sign up with that
uh,
are connected with like bases, and they'll end up being referral fees because they're basically giving you those buyers but they're doing it for a fee.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, there's nothing to say that if you were to organically meet a couple who were veterans that you would pay anyone anything. I don't see why you would. At that point, they're no different than any other buyers. They just probably are going to be using a VA loan. So just knowing the ins and outs of that. But I mean, having some knowledge of like base locations and things like that, I'm sure would be helpful.
And I just a quick comment. Every military base has a relocation office. It's not always easy to get through to them, and that's how these subscription services that Mike's talking about make their money, because they get the data from the office and then they turn around and sell it or resell it.
Mm-hmm. So, let's take a look at what it looks like to actually send one though, like the different fields that you need to fill in. It all starts off with when you're sending a referral, finding an agent. So it's going to take you back to the map, which is why it's good to go ahead and pinpoint who you want to use first, get them connected in the network. And then when you're doing it, you can just choose from one of the agents that you have a connection with. So let me just use that person, Andrew, there. So I'm already connected with this person. Let's just say I'm sending them a buyer. We can set what our referral fee is going to be, right? Pretty standard is 25. The deadline, I try to just make that as long as possible, just so they have enough time to see it. And then it's going to ask you for this makes more sense for buyers. For sellers, it's kind of weird to have a minimum price, max price there, but gives you 300 characters to write a little bit of background. You need to have your client or contact already in your system. If not, you can go ahead and create it right here. So it's actually the person that you're sending. And then, you know what? Let me pick, might make more sense for me to pick someone in the office so I can show you. Okay, so you'll select the contact, add the contact, and then you'll send it to the person. And then when you go to your my referrals, and it has it'll go to the pending status until they accept it. You won't see any here because I don't have any coming in or sent. But the person who I'm sending it to can't see any of your client's data. It'll be all blurred out until they actually accept it, right? So they actually have to create that connection with you before they can actually get your client's information. So they couldn't just see it pop up, take your client's data, and then contact them around your back, right? So your client's data is protected until you actually have a connection with them. So I thought that's very useful.
Hey, Mike, one question that Cynthia had in the chat. What if you have a referral to an agent that's not a KW agent? I had 2 of these. And I think Brad signs off on a form, but is that in command somewhere if it's not with a KW agent, the referral form?
So you would still, this is more for inner KW. You could still create a referral, I believe. Let me see here. I thought I did it with Dave. The only thing is, because they're not in KW, there's really no tracking of it. It's kind of you just doing the tracking, and by creating a referral in here, you would just be doing it for just have a record of it. So in those cases, I would go straight to creating an opportunity of the referral, and you're just going to have to do manual tracking of it. The best way is to create an opportunity, have the contact in the contact card, and just updating with notes on the contact card as the referral progresses with notes is how I would do it. But no, there's no a way to send a command referral for an outside KW agent.
Okay, so we just fill out the referral form.
Yeah, you would do the referral form.
Okay,
Just
just wanted to
the one
double check.
sheeter.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So in the opportunity, what does that look like? Because I have one that I need to do right now. Do we just, what do we call the opportunity? Just buyer or whatever, but there isn't one for referrals, is there? An
No.
opportunity?
No, there's not. So you would just create an opportunity for if you refer to buyer, a buyer opportunity. If you refer to seller, a seller opportunity, and then you would essentially just use that to get paid once the check comes in by attaching probably like the signed Alta in either case. Hopefully they have some type of like closing document that you could attach to just show that lines up with whatever the check amount is, and the signed referral sheet. So just those two documents, and then we can get you paid on it pretty easily.
A lot of times they will not give you the signed alter. I
Yeah,
just
most times.
did this, and it was like pulling teeth to get that. All you're going to have is your signed referral form.
Yeah.
Um,
So the referral form should have like, the percentage, and then the percentage should be, it'll line up to whatever the closed amount is, and the percentage should, if it's 25% and the deal was 100,000, then you should be getting $2,500, right?
Right. You know what I came across too? A lot of times, in different states, the agents don't even have access to the altas or the closing disclosures. I thought that was a little strange because we review those before it closes. And
Yeah.
New York and California both. I just did referrals, and the agents were like, "We have nothing to do with the closing disclosures or the alters. We don't even see them." It's like, how could you not see them? How do you know if your people are being
Gosh.
charged the right fees? And one of them happened to be my daughter, and the fees on her end were not right. And another one was my sister in New York, and the fees and stuff on that one was not right. And I had to question it, and I had to get corrected. Now, if these weren't relatives of mine, and they just took it for granted that they were, had the right stuff on, they don't know.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
that's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, and one of them was like a $2,000 charge that she was getting charged for, and I'm like, I don't think so.
I
Yeah.
don't even believe like New York City has an MLS. They don't have like a standard MLS.
Yeah, well, yeah, they have an MLS, but it's nothing like yours.
It's
Yeah,
yeah, it's not like Bright though. And you're not mandatory have to put it on there either.
But yeah, it was crazy. The agent there was like, well, they don't do contracts. They do everything. They do like a binder, and then it goes to an attorney.
Yeah,
And that's why it takes 3 months to close up there.
they make
Crazy.
it tough to do business up there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So does anyone have any questions on how you would find an agent, send a referral, using command? Another question in the chat.
Mike, I have a command specific question.
Sure.
On the first windows we were looking at, where it was the agents, where you're working referrals, there were a couple of blocks to check for pre-qualified, pre-approved, and
Yeah, you probably use that for buyers, and it just doesn't go
Right.
away for sellers.
yeah. So it wasn't identified as such. If you even go further back, when you first got started and you were displaying the windows for the individual agents, is there any kind of a qualification process for a referral agent or an agent through which you're referring, or you do a handshake and make a decision?
For me, the process would be find 3 agents that I think would be decent based on their bios and their stats. I give them a call and I qualify them on the phone personally. And if I feel comfortable, I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna feel comfortable with one, and I'm gonna send them a referral after that.
Right. Okay. So the short answer is everybody kind of does their own thing in terms of agreeing to a referral with another agent.
Like you talking about like the percentage?
Well, the percentage, I mean, just the entire relationship.
Yeah, I mean, you're not necessarily gonna, like I said, unless you already know someone. But if you don't know someone at all, and you still have to send it somewhere. So
Right.
at least having a 20-minute conversation with someone to find out about their business and how they run their business would give you a better heads up into. And then, I mean, at that point, then you just have to use your judgment.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
And they do have the ability, like if you send someone a ridiculous fee of like, 50% or something like that, they're going to be able to counter you. Or if someone sends it to you, someone sends you and they're a referral, like say they send you a buyer, but they want 50%. You have the ability when you get that referral to counter that percentage, and push back on that also.
Sure. Okay.
You don't just have to accept it. So what I'm saying is make sure to take a look at what the fee says, because I don't think many people would want to go ahead and accept a 50% referral fee. If someone is sending you someone,
Right.
I would probably push back at least once.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Awesome. So if anyone has any actual just command questions in general, maybe I can go ahead and answer some stuff while I got some people with us.
Got to run, but thank you, Mike.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Amy. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll shut it down. Thanks everybody for coming. If you have any other follow-up questions, text me, email me, call me. Happy to help.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.